The NFL world is exploding right now, since the sequence of Shedeur Sanders was caught on camera ruthlessly mocking Dillon Gabriel for his repulsive, sloppy play during last week's devastating loss. Stephen A. Smith went completely crazy over Shedeur Sanders during the most recent First Take broadcast, drawing all attention to Cleveland's ongoing quarterback disaster. The video that started this controversy showed Shedeur standing on Brown's sideline, observing Gabriel make yet another horrible interception. He was seen on camera turning to face a teammate, dismissively shaking his head and talking loudly enough for microphones to pick up every word. "I could have thrown that left-handed, man." You realize right away that this goes beyond ordinary backup annoyance. This symbolizes public disdain, planned humiliation, organizational powder kegs, and eventual explosion. It only took a few minutes to access the internet for the clip. Completely viral. Twitter is going crazy. Instagram is flooded with comments. TikTok algorithms are always promoting content. The next morning, the first take of the footage was broadcast. Stephen blew up totally. He shouted with remarkable ferocity and pounded the desk. "I have been stating precisely this." While Shedeur Sanders sits there prepared to take over right away, Dillon Gabriel appears to be a college backup wearing an NFL uniform. The ambiance of the studio changed instantly. "You're feeling it, Stephen," Shannon Sharp said forcefully as she burst out laughing. Right there, QB1 energy is radiating. Molly was unable to contain her smile from spreading across her face. The entire portion was turned into extensive Shedeur Sanders highlight reels that showed off his developing leadership presence in the locker room, sideline calmness, and practice throws. ESPN producers are putting in extra time to create content that highlights the differences between Shedeur's preparedness and Gabriel's problems. Don't misunderstand motivations, though. Those with knowledge of the circumstances claim that there was no display of arrogance at that time. This symbolized a declaration of confidence, the boiling point of irritation, and total patience exhaustion. Insiders close to the team speculate that Shedeur's annoyance has been building steadily over the past few weeks as a result of witnessing Dillon Gabriel completely lose it during several games, missing receivers standing wide open, fumbling with little pressure, and repeatedly throwing interceptions inside the red zone. At last, Shedeur's patience broke dramatically. "Everyone inside here knows Shedeur's the superior quarterback," a Browns player told reporters in a private statement. "He's just worn out from acting that way." Shedeur's sideline response, according to another insider, was not a calculated performance. This was the manifestation of unadulterated feeling at last. Private guarantees about the upcoming opportunity have been given to him. He knows that the front office is putting a lot of pressure on Stefanski to make the unavoidable switch, and he has now stopped keeping quiet. Since this goes beyond ordinary sports debate, let's talk about the social media explosion.
The number of Shedeur's times surged straight to the top of the national trending position. "He's not mocking Dillon, he's exposing him publicly," one ardent supporter said. Another said, "Shedeur was worn out from watching trash football every week." To be honest, Cleveland supporters are just as worn out. The conversation quickly moved from a normal fan argument to an accurate quarterback appraisal. Thousands of people commenting at once, video footage being broken down frame by frame, body language being thoroughly examined, and lip readers verifying specific claims. This was documented proof of organizational dysfunction rather than conjecture. Legends of the NFL even provided analysis. Michael Irvin joyfully wrote that the child is ready right now. You can see the fires scorching fiercely over your face. Listen carefully when the backup quarterback publicly disrespects the starter organization that has already decided, Shannon Sharp said forcefully in the following part. All they are doing is figuring out when to make the announcement. At that very time, everyone was asking the same question, dismissively shaking their heads and mumbling the terrible line that signaled the start of Dillon Gabriel's decline as Cleveland's quarterback. Insiders claim that we have conducted a thorough consultation. Of course. Indeed, rumors that are circulating within Brown's organization indicate that this was the last straw that broke organizational patience. According to reports, the ownership is incensed with Gabriel's leadership's decline in offensive performance. According to several sources, Stefanski is facing an ultimatum that calls for the adoption of a quarterback change after the next bye week. And who is patiently waiting? Shedeur Sanders' composed manner, unwavering self-assurance, and readiness. This is when things become really complicated. This goes beyond a straightforward quarterback dispute to an all-out organizational referendum. According to sources, coaching staff members disagree on when to make decisions. Some helpers are quietly in favor of quick change. Others who support Gabriel ought to be given more chances to show progress. The offensive coordinator was purportedly torn between football operations' preference for developmental patience and ownership's demanding instructions. Don't ignore the factors that make this situation particularly unstable. Ramifications for timing. With a 2-4 record right now, the Browns urgently need to turn things around before their hopes of making the playoffs are utterly dashed. Unforgiving competition is represented by the division that includes Jackson's Ravens and Burrow's Bengals. Every game has significant ramifications. Before November comes, Gabriel's ongoing difficulties could cost Cleveland the entire season. Veterans are reportedly privately frustrated with the way situations are handled. We're blocking our tails off watching quarterbacks sabotage drives repeatedly, some offensive linemen allegedly confided in the coaching staff. Something's got to change immediately. While secretly doubting their offensive ability, defensive players maintain neutrality in public. According to local media who asked to remain anonymous, one defensive captain said, "Defense keeps games competitive. Offense continues to lose them. Changes eventually become required." Over the course of the program, the Stephen A. Smith part kept getting more intense. He brought up Gabriel's statistical downturn, declining completion rate, rising turnover rate, and total collapse in fourth-quarter performance. In contrast, Shedeur reportedly completed 75% of the passes against the starting defense during practice, showed exceptional poise under pressure simulation, and led the huddle with ease. Stephen A. gave a passionate and signature declaration to end the program. Do you sense this energy? That child is no longer waiting. Because Sanders is approaching quickly, the Browns had better get up and go. When cameras caught Shedeur leaving the pitch after that devastating defeat, his face said 1,000 words.
Not really rage or outright annoyance, but something more perilous. Certainty and unwavering belief in the unavoidable result. He appeared to understand what Cleveland supporters are hoping for, as seen by the smirk that crossed his face. According to reports, the situation behind closed doors is reaching a critical mass. Jimmy Haslam has said to have demanded an explanation for Gabriel's continued starting position in spite of his evident difficulties. Kevin Stefanski is purportedly justifying his choice by citing worries about the developmental timeframe, consistency in practice performance, and veteran leadership traits. But when game footage shows an obvious quarterback deficit, those arguments quickly lose credibility. League executives are keeping a close eye on the situation and are aware of the wider ramifications of interference with organizational decision-making. Coaching the preservation of authority. This is an example of a warning story being told in public. What happens if choosing a quarterback is no longer determined by performance, but rather by politics? For ardent viewers, that moment on the sidelines signified more than just fleeting annoyance. This represented a turning moment for the organization, as the backup quarterback openly questioned the starter's ability. The coaching staff is becoming less confident in the locker room. The owner is requesting a change right now. Everything is coming together for the inevitable quarterback change. The social media machine keeps running non-stop. The practice facility in Cleveland is being overrun by national analysts. Conflicting sources are being fostered by local reporters. Strong opinions from former players. Every practice toss is examined by YouTube programmers. Debates on organizational dynamics on Reddit. The whole environment surrounding Brown's quarterback debate is getting more intense every day. Stephen A. expressed what millions of people were thinking at the same time as he gave the last speech before the commercial break. The Cleveland Browns are down to just one choice. Either start winning with Shedeur Sanders or keep losing with Dillon Gabriel. And based on that expression, Shedeur has finished his patient waiting.